Moons. These are naturally formed bodies that orbit around planets. They are also known as the planetary satellites. The best-known planetary satellite is, of course, the Earth's moon. Since it was named before we learned about other planetary satellites, it is called simply Moon. According to the NASA/JPL Solar System Dynamics team, the current tally of moons orbiting planets in our solar system is 293. 1 moon for Earth, 2 for Mars, 95 at Jupiter, 146 at Saturn, 28 at Uranus, 16 at Neptune, and 5 for dwarf planet Pluto. Astronomers also have documented more than 470 satellites, or moons, orbiting smaller objects, such as asteroids, dwarf planets, or Kuiper Belt objects, KBOs, beyond the orbit of Neptune. These moons are called small-body satellites. Most planetary moons are probably formed from the disks of gas and dust circulating around planets in the early solar system, though some are captured objects that formed elsewhere and fell into orbit around larger worlds. Scientists are very good at spotting tiny moons orbiting distant, giant planets. So many tiny moons have been found that the International Astronomical Union, which governs official names of planets and moons, will no longer name the smallest moons unless they're of significant scientific interest. Interestingly, there are likely thousands more moons awaiting discovery in our solar system. The Earth's moon is the brightest and largest object in our night sky. The moon makes Earth a more livable planet by moderating our home planet's wobble on its axis, leading to a relatively stable climate. It also causes tides, creating a rhythm that has guided humans for thousands of years. The moon was likely formed after a Mars-sized body collided with Earth several billion years ago. Earth's only natural satellite is simply called the moon, because people didn't know other moons existed until Galileo Galilei discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter in 1610. In Latin, the moon was called luna, which is the main adjective for all things moon-related. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. Both are thought to be captured asteroids, or debris from early in the formation of our solar system. Phobos is the larger of Mars' 2 moons. It orbits Mars 3 times a day, and is so close to the planet's surface that in some locations on Mars it cannot always be seen. Phobos is nearing Mars at a rate of 6 feet every 100 years. At that rate, it will either crash into Mars in 50 million years or break up into a ring. Deimos is a small and lumpy, heavily cratered object. Its craters are generally smaller than 2.5 kilometers in diameter. And it lacks the grooves and ridges seen on Phobos. Deimos orbits Mars every 30 hours. Jupiter has 95 moons that have been officially recognized by the International Astronomical Union. But the number doesn't capture the complexity of the Jovian system of moons, rings, and asteroids. The giant planet has thousands of small objects in its orbit. The International Astronomical Union has established a new naming policy for small moons orbiting giant planets. Due to the increasing discovery of tiny moons, only those with significant scientific importance will be given names based on mythological figures. This change aims to prioritize the naming of moons that have notable scientific value, while smaller, less remarkable ones will no longer receive mythological names. Saturn has 146 moons in its orbit, more than any other planet. The moons range in size from larger than the planet Mercury, the giant moon Titan, to as small as a sports arena. The small moon Enceladus has a global ocean under a thick, icy shell. Scientists have identified both moons as high-priority science destinations for future deep space missions. Saturn's moon's shape contribute to and also collect material from Saturn's rings and magnetosphere. Uranus has 28 known moons, including 5 major moons. These are Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. The moons are sometimes called the literary moons because they are named for Shakespearean characters, along with a couple of the moons being named for characters from the works of Alexander Pope. The most recently discovered moon was first spotted in November 2023. It's currently designated at S/2023 U1, and will eventually be named for a literary character like the other moons of Uranus. Neptune has 16 known moons. English merchant and astronomer William Lassell discovered the first and largest moon, Triton, on October 10, 1846. Just 17 days after a Berlin observatory discovered Neptune. We don't know if Lassell had a celebratory beverage after he discovered Triton, but beer helped make the finding possible. Lassell was one of the 19th century England's grand amateur astronomers. He used the fortune he made in the brewery business to finance his telescopes. All but 2 of Neptune's 16 moons have been named. Since Neptune is named for the Roman god of the sea, its moons are named for various lesser sea gods and nymphs in Greek mythology. Pluto has 5 moons. Its largest moon is called the Charon. It's about half the size of Pluto, making it the largest known moon relative to its parent planet in our solar system. Pluto's other moons are Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx.